The coronavirus isn't just a health concern, but a consumer concern as well. To help us separate facts from fear when it comes to you, the consumer, we're talking to North Carolina Attorney General Josh Stein today. He's going to be answering your questions until 6 o'clock tonight. Just text your questions to him, 336-379-5775. You can ask anything on issues like price gouging, stimulus scams that are going around, even how to make your internet safer while you're working from home. Remember, these are text-only questions, so do not call. All right, so we're going to start with our very first question, and it happens to deal with eviction. This person is asking, can landlords still evict people? I thought that wasn't allowed right now.
Yeah, Tanya, first of all, thank you for offering this up to your viewers. I think it's a very helpful opportunity to provide some good information to protect consumers. We're mostly concerned about people's health. We want people to be safe, staying at home, socially distanced, washing their hands. But we also want to make sure that people don't lose money during this time, even worse than they already are. In terms of eviction, the Chief Justice has put a hold on the courts for many civil matters, including evictions. So there should not be any evictions going on. That doesn't mean people don't owe their rent. It just means that they can't be kicked out of their home for non-payment of rent.
So let me follow up with that then. What happens if their landlord is threatening to evict them? What should they do? What can they do?
Well, they cannot be evicted until the courts open back up again. If the person hasn't made payment, then theoretically when the courts open up again, the landlord could evict. What folks should do when they're in financial distress, and understand hundreds of thousands of North Carolinians are, because that's how many people have lost their jobs just in the last 3 or 4 weeks. They should reach out affirmatively to their landlord to try to work something out. The ideal outcome would be to have a forbearance, that until you get back on your feet, that you don't owe your rent, and then you work out some kind of payment plan over a number of months to repay the landlord for the time that you've stayed in their property without being able to pay them.
So with that said, if they're being threatened by their landlord and they're saying, I'm going to evict you tomorrow, should they be calling and making a complaint at your office or with local police, or what should they do?
Well, if they have a lawyer, they should consult a lawyer. Their local legal aid exists to help people in landlord-tenant issues, but they can also file a complaint with my office. We have an online complaint form. All people have to do is Google NCDOJ for North Carolina Department of Justice and complaint form, and it'll pop right up.
Okay, and so I'll make sure that we have that on our website as well, so it will be really easy for you to find after we're done with the Attorney General. Okay, now I'm getting a whole slew of questions about price gouging.
Yes.
This person says, how many price gougers have been caught, or how many complaints have you had? And I do believe that we do have some numbers so that we can show folks. There's more than 1,300 complaints so far.
1,400, and they range in what they pertain to. About half of them have to do with groceries of some sort, including toilet paper, but also masks, cleaning products, hand sanitizer, the things that we're all looking for. So we are in the process of investigating each of those complaints. We have a number of investigative demands that have been issued. That's where we demand information back from the seller, where they have to justify to us why they are charging the price that we see they're charging. If they are unable to persuade us that they had a good basis for raising their prices so high, we will enforce the law against them. I have a history of aggressively enforcing North Carolina's price gouging law. It exists to protect people when they're desperate. When we're in a state of emergency, it is unconscionable if there's some seller out there exploiting that desperation to make a quick buck. After the hurricanes in southeastern North Carolina, we brought something like 7 different cases, 22 defendants, and we've already resolved more than something like $750,000 back to North Carolina consumers. So
the second part of their question was, what are the consequences that they face? Obviously, you can take them to court and you can fine them. Exactly.
If somebody violates the price gouging law, they have to pay back the people what they improperly took, and there's $5,000 per violation penalty. we will try to do everything we can to get folks money back. It's not always possible, but we try to. And understand the vast majority of retailers, sellers, they're trying to do the right thing. They're trying to restock their shelves in order to meet people's demand. But we do know that there are times when greed gets the better of some of our neighbors, and they try to make a quick buck. And that's what the law will not allow, and I will aggressively enforce.
I love this next question. It says, if someone is price gouging by even a little bit, can we report it? I don't think there's a little bit. You are either price gouging or you're not. It doesn't matter whether it's $1 or $10 that they're making.
Well, what the law says is that you cannot charge an unreasonably excessive price. That isn't specific, right? It's not objective. It's not 10% more or 30% more. Mm-hmm. It's unreasonably excessive. So we do have to look to the circumstances. We also have to look to see, is there a reason to justify that increase in price? If toilet paper costs $6 one week and then $12 the next week, that to me would be unreasonably excessive. But if the store had to pay, instead of $4, they're paying $9 to get the same because it's short everywhere, then the store is really not violating the law. They're trying to meet the demand and they had to pay more to get the product.
Gotcha. Okay. And I don't know if you have this information on hand. Maybe you can get it when we take our next break. They were asking how many complaints are like in Guilford County, if there is one specific county that has more complaints than others.
Mecklenburg has had the most complaints, but that's not surprising because it and Wake County are the two most populous counties.
Gotcha. Okay. So the next couple of questions are going to be dealing with robocalls and scam calls and things of that nature. So we'll take that after the break. In the meantime, what I want to be able to show those of you who are at home, of course, we've got the number on the screen for you to text your questions, the 379-5775, is also the information in case you want to put in a price gouging complaint. And this is where you would do it. It's online. You go to ncdoj.gov. Towards the top right, you're going to click File a Complaint, and you'll fill out the form. And of course, we have all of this information on the Two Wants to Know section of our website, and we'll make sure that it is easy for you to do that. And we'll be right back. You've got questions about the coronavirus. We're here to get you answers. State Attorney General Josh Stein is with us today, and he's going to be answering your questions. You can text those questions to 336-379-5775 right there at the bottom of your screen here. Just remember, only text those questions, don't call. All right, and I believe you have an update about the Guilford County price gouging numbers?
Yeah, I've looked at the various counties where the complaints are being made, and Guilford's got the fourth most. Mecklenburg and Wake are numbers 1 and 2, not surprisingly. Forsyth was number 3 at about 70 complaints, and Guilford has about 66, 67 complaints.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, we're going to move off price gouging for a little bit. We've got some other text questions. Someone is asking, what kind of unemployment scams are you hearing about that I should be aware of?
We're hearing whether it's unemployment scams or it's the recovery payments. The criminals know that people are desperate for money. And so they're taking that desperation to try to exploit and take advantage of you. So they're trying to get your bank account number if they possibly can. We've heard about people saying, I'm with the IRS. I can get you your recovery payment, but you need to give me your bank account information so I can get it deposited immediately. Obviously, with the bank account information, they can then drain your account of whatever you have. And similar types of issues with unemployment. People know that folks are having trouble getting through to the unemployment system because the volume it's an unprecedented volume. The system was not built to handle as many people who need it. And so the governor is trying to ramp up as quickly as possible the computer system and the number of people who can answer the phone calls. But because they know that people are desperate to get in and get their payment, they will call and say, I can facilitate your unemployment payment. Just give me your personal information. They'll either use it to try to steal your cash out of your account, or they'll take your social security number and take out credit in your name, ruining your good credit.
I know a lot of people would say, well, I don't have much in my bank account. They don't want my account, but that's not true.
Well, they can overdraft your account and then you're stuck. I mean, you wouldn't have to pay those fees, but it's something that nobody wants.
All right. And so someone is saying, what type of robocall scams have you heard of? Sometimes it's hard to tell what's real and what's not.
Absolutely. And the scammers get more creative and more talented every time. And we've heard the full gamut of types of complaints. They'll prey on people's fear. We've heard of calls that say, your test came back, it's positive, call this number so you can buy some antibiotics. Obviously, one, most people haven't had a chance to do a test, but if you did, they don't know if your test is positive and there's no antibiotic that works. They're just trying to scare you out of your money. We've also heard your neighbor tested positive. You need to do this in order to protect yourself. We have a home health test, a home test that we can do. We can clean your air ducts and eliminate all bacteria and viruses. Anything they can think of to try to trick you out of your money, they will do. And it can come by telephone, it can come by text, it can come by email, social media. Just be wary. And sometimes they want your money, sometimes they want your personal information, sometimes they want to put malware on your computer in order to steal stuff. So do not click on attachments. For instance, we've heard about emails where they say, here is a map of people who are infected in your area. Obviously, everybody wants to know that. So they'll click it, and then meanwhile, they put a virus on their own machine at that point.
Yeah, I think it's really important for people to only click on something from a trusted source, and that is when you actually go to the source, like when you go to the IRS website.
Correctly. The IRS does not call you. The Social Security Administration will not call you. Your bank will not call you. They won't email you, very likely either. If you get something and it just looks so true, one thing, you can just call my toll-free number, 877-5-NO-SCAM, and we can tell you if it's a common scam or not. Or the best advice is go to the website, find the actual phone number of your bank or whoever's reaching out to you, call them, look on the back of your credit card, look on your bank statement, call that 24-hour number and say, did you email me this? They didn't, but it will give you the reassurance to know you can ignore it.
Yeah, that you're actually talking to the right person. Someone followed up with that. They say, I get so many calls on my cell phone. Some are businesses that I do business with. Why are they allowed to contact me? And that is kind of like a loophole there that a lot of people don't understand with the do not call registry.
Precisely. Most people by now have signed up for the do not call registry. If you haven't, I strongly encourage you to put your cell phone or your home number on that registry. Just Google do not call registry. It's very easy to do. But there is an exception for pre-existing business relationships, where if you have a business relationship, they can call you. That said, you can direct that company to stop going forward so that they will stop calling you. If they continue to call you, even if it's a company you've done business with and you don't want to hear them, let my office know and we will go after them.
Gotcha. Okay. So many of us are working from home. We are at home with our kids doing schoolwork and things of that nature. And Josh Stein has been talking about how to make your router safer so that there's not data breaches. We're going to talk about that when we come back next. And of course, you can always text us your questions at 336-379-5775.